Martain, Martain, sir.
Mr. Martin, you're charged with evading arrest or detention. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On 9/19/2024, an officer in full uniform driving a fully marked vehicle observed multiple people loitering in front of Siesta Mart in Harris County, Texas. Officer parked in front of the store and the defendant began to quickly walk to the south of the building. Officer told the defendant to stop, but the defendant began to run when he got to the corner. Defendant ran to an apartment complex and the officer lost sight.
That's it?
No, Judge. The officers established perimeter canine.
Wait, but even, what's he doing wrong?
It just says he was
Standing
loitering.
flat.
It just says he was loitering, Judge. I'm trying to see if
So-
there's more.
No, no,
detail.
I don't think so. I'm gonna find probable cause.
Okay, Judge.
Dude, be careful, man. You know, life's hard enough as it is.
Cause I just got out of prison from that block. I understand how it works.
You know, all right, just hang tight for me, will you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome to American Courts. We got a good show for you tonight. Today's Allie's birthday, so make sure to say hey to Allie and offer her happy birthday. Hey Lori and Monica and Kim and Nan. We got a pile of people here tonight, so let's go ahead and get started on it. We got a few Judge Fleischer clips from this morning, and then we got a good Judge Webster one coming up whenever we get a little bit bigger crowd in here. So hey Steve, how are you doing? All right, let's jump in. We're gonna do a couple of Judge Fleischers from today.
The complaining witness, who stated that the defendant was at pump 2 and complained that his card.
Joe Perez.
Sure, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or bless you. Up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On August 23rd of 2024, officers were dispatched to a Chevron gas station in Harris County, Texas, in reference to criminal mischief. Officers made contact with the complaining witness, who stated that the defendant was at pump 2 and complained that his card was not working. The complaining witness stated he went outside with the defendant and saw that 25 cents had been pumped, then the transaction was canceled. CW told the defendant that he would have to use the card again to start another transaction. The defendant became irritated and the complaining witness made his way back into the store. The defendant followed him into the store, asked for $30 on pump 2, went out to his motor vehicle and began to pump gas. The defendant entered the motor vehicle with the pump still attached. $30 had been completed on the pump, then the defendant left without attempting to remove the pump, causing the pump and the hose to be separated from the in-ground meter. There were $500 in damages.
Did he mean to do it or was it an accident? Because remember, this is a specific intent crime. You didn't tell me anything that he's like upset to where he intentionally took off with the device.
I understand, Judge.
You know?
I'm just reading based on what the offense report said. It says the complaining witness did not see him even attempt to remove the pump.
I know, but people forget, you know, you're busy, you get this, like, you know, accidents happen, right? But if you're telling me that he's like flipping it off, giving him the bird, yelling at him, and then he just, but I don't see the intent.
I pulled up the offense report.
There's no rush, take your time. And if you want, we can come back and do this a little bit later so we can do everything else and then give you more time. You want to do that?
I'm looking through it, Judge, and I don't see that. We can come back to it.
Okay, sir, I'm just gonna have you take a seat. I'm gonna do a deeper dive in your case, just to see if there is probable cause. If you just don't mind, please take a seat in the jury box and we'll come back.
I say something.
No, don't.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent. Exercise the right, please. As we all know, criminal mischief is a specific intent crime. Mischief, I don't see intent. I may be wrong, but what I see is that I have a gentleman, gets kind of frustrated that the thing is not working correctly. I guess the pump. So he goes in, pays $30 for prepaid gas, goes out, pumps the gas, and takes off. And I guess in thereby ripping the thing. But is it a mistake? Did he specifically intend to do that? Tell me. What do you?
One moment, Judge.
Take your time. The way I read it, I thought it was a mistake. I'm gonna order it regardless. I know that. I'm gonna order it regardless. If they comply, they.
I understand. Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure.
Put them out, like right before we leave,
No problem.
and then I'm gonna order him extra grand. And I'm gonna admonish him that if he ever does it, I'll keep him for real.
I was just asking if all my paperwork's done, just in case.
Judge, I don't see anything per the DIMS nor the offense report that connects specific intent to this defendant.
What was it again? What was your last name again?
Perez, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Perez, I'm gonna find that there's no probable cause to go forward in the case. Understand that this means that I just didn't think that there was intent to rise up for a crime. Whether they come after you still for that, who knows? But
Following dismissal, Judge.
thanks. If you want to go ahead, well, they're gonna dismiss the case now, so you're free to go. Okay, just,
With this bond, I had a cash bond, so I just,
I don't know.
that's for Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Go back and if you want, we can give you a copy of the dismissal here
Oh,
shortly.
yes, sir.
We need to get somebody from that court to talk with us about that. That was the oddest damn case. It seemed like the guy made a mistake, just a simple mistake. They didn't say he was mad. They didn't say anything about it, but yet he got run out of there. So I don't begin to understand what happened there. So, either way, I'm glad Judge Fleischer saw through it and didn't play around with it. So, Renee, there's getting to be a lot of references to the Judge Caprio with Judge Fleischer. I think Judge Fleischer is going to be Judge Fleischer. Judge Caprio was unique and had his own way, so he did that. Gina, you was asking about the moderator thing earlier. Congratulations on getting that moderator thing. It's simply just a way to help out the channel creator. It's a way that if you see somebody just causing trouble and they're just out to be an ass, you can just delete the comment, and it just kind of is the welcome wagon for people coming in. Just kind of go with the flow, and we'll go from there. It's good to see you, Gina, and Kimby, and Maiko, and Monica, and Donald, Emily. Got a good little crowd. We'll go ahead and go to Judge Simpson. He had a good one yesterday. I wasn't able to show, so let's go to that one.
All right, 14th District Court is now back in session. Honorable Judge James Simpson presiding.
Don't talk to, you may be seated. Don't talk to. That's what our whole meeting was about.
I'm just working to get you out of here.
I thought you said you were done.
I was done with my antics, Your Honor.
Oh.
I thought that's.
And now I'm done. I'm done. Which is,
I honestly do not know.
okay, good enough. Court calls the case, People versus John Waddell.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Quaison on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Judge. 76343 on behalf of Mr. Waddle. President, would you say your name, sir?
John Waddell. And, all right, what are we doing?
Judge, I think we're going to try to set this for a preliminary examination.
Discovery is complete,
Yes.
and would the people have their witnesses available the 5th?
Judge, I'm not available the 5th, so I was going to ask for the 19th.
Yeah, What happens to people when they ask for dates? Mr. Bellinger? Never mind. Will that be acceptable to the people? The 19th. Preliminary examination will be set November 19th, 2024, 9 a.m. That is before Judge Barr.
There are some issues regarding bond that I do hope to address with the court.
Yes.
And I was made aware of them earlier today, Judge, just so you're aware.
It's come to my attention, Your Honor, that the defendant has, in my opinion, been violating the no contact order. I understand the court might perceive it as towing the line. However, he has sent a package with a note to the victim's residence. It's my understanding that the defendant characterized this as sending it to the kids. However, the note in it said, "I love you all so much. Love someone who loves you more than you could possibly know," or something along those lines. And then there's the additional incident of the defendant at least once being seen driving past the soccer fields while the child in common was in practice after, I believe the court explicitly stated that he was not to be at sporting events while the victim was present. So I am concerned at this point. This does seem to be, in my opinion, multiple violations of the no contact order. And I wanted to raise it.
Judge, he did send a package to his kids, which was just blankets for his kids and a note directed to his kids. Granted, the package was addressed to the complaining witness, but
excuse me,
the package was addressed to the complaining witness, but it was just for the kids. He sent blankets to the kids. And then as to the,
when was that?
I don't,
Your Honor, it was ordered, I believe, on the 19th, but I do also want to put on the record that the victim moved and the defendant had to go to great lengths to find out where they relocated to. So that is another reason I'm concerned. She did not share her new location with the defendant. She did not want him to know where she lived.
The 19th, you said?
Let me confirm one moment, Your Honor. Ordered October 16th.
What was ordered October?
That was when the package was ordered.
Gotcha. How old is the child?
there's 3 children, Judge. How old are your kids?
7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9.
So why was the package addressed to, well, a couple of things. What was the purpose of this?
To send something to my kids because I'm not able to contact them. And it's just something I knew that they would enjoy.
So
I was told that I wasn't able to contact her and I was trying to abide by that and just send it to my kids. I addressed it to her, not.
Why did you address it to her?
It was just something that crossed my mind because it came up as that address. I didn't mean to.
What do you mean if it came? I don't know what that means.
I didn't mean to address it to her. I meant to address it to them. I just didn't think of that part of it.
Excuse me?
I was trying to
You meant to address it
to my children.
Corporal. You what?
He meant to send the package to his children.
So why weren't their names on the package?
Because it was meant as a surprise, because they all had different blankets that they enjoy. And I couldn't leave it blank. I was just trying to send something to my kids. I wasn't trying to disobey any rules. And this is all new to me. I haven't done this before, and I was just trying to send something to my kids.
Okay. How'd you find their address?
So when I was able to move back into my house, the power was off. So we have a list of accounts that we have at our house. And so I got onto DTE to turn it back on. And that's when I saw her address because the account was used. She used the same account. So I paid that off. And then it was said that I had to create my own account. So I logged off and created my own account. But her address was on there when I logged in. So I paid that bill and then logged off and created my own account.
So prior to doing that, you didn't know where your kids were.
I did not. I didn't do it to find them. I had to turn the power back on my house and I went to where I knew I had to go.
And so once you see that,
Yes,
then you decide to send the package?
to my kids, yes.
But Your Honor, there were 4 blankets sent and he has 3 kids. So I don't really understand where that's going either.
All right, I'll ask the $1 million question. You have 3 kids, you're sending them a blanket. Why'd you send 4? Please, you know what?
I don't,
Think about your answer to me. I look stupid, but I'm really not.
it's just all what we used to do at our house when we lived together. They all have their own blankets and there's an extra one that they use. My son wets the bed a lot.
Oh, hold it. So what you're telling me is you sent 3 blankets, 1 for each of the kids and then an extra.
Yes, because my son wets the bed a lot, so he needs an extra one.
You gotta be kidding me. Is that your story?
That's what
you're gonna tell me.
I don't know what else to tell you. I wasn't to my wife.
Well, the truth would be okay.
That's all I have.
Why'd you send, I'm gonna give you another shot. Why'd you send 4 blankets?
That's what I have because that's what we do at home. That's what we did before. That's how I know what she's done because she's told me. Because my son's extra blanket is actually on the bed at my house right now. Like she made the bed when she left and it's still there.
Okay, what about driving past sporting events that she's at?
It's my understanding, but I'll let him explain it.
No, go ahead, Counselor.
He was driving his work truck from work to a auto parts store in the same city and then drove back to work right after that. So I don't think he stopped or drove by slow. I think he just happened to be, and I don't think he even knew, he told me earlier today, he didn't know, he knew the kids had practice, but he thought they were not at practice.
Just so I'm clear. You addressed the package to the alleged victim in this case. Have 3 kids. So you know that there are 4 people that are in that house. You sent 4 blankets, but are telling me they were all for your kids. I miss anything?
No.
Counsel, do you want a hearing on this? As to a bond violation?
I mean, I guess maybe, do you know were the 2 of the blankets the same or? If you know, I don't know if you know or not. I don't know.
Personally, it doesn't make a difference to me. There's 4 blankets, 3 kids, 4 people in the house. Package is addressed to the victim. That doesn't make a difference.
Judge, I think we don't need to have a hearing.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I'm about to revoke his bond. So, do you want a hearing on this, Counsel?
Yes.
I figured as much. All right. I'll leave the preliminary exam date. I'll set a hearing. On his bond violation. Can everybody be ready next week? Might be appropriate we do it on Halloween.
Judge, I can't do it on the 31st. Unless we do it, or I guess I could do it right at 1.
Right at 1, yeah. You don't know how my days work.
Oh, I know.
I can, well, we normally set it at 3, but I don't know if that's gonna cut later causes you a problem.
Yes.
So,
I just had something at 10 and 3. So I was like trying to.
there's no way for me to predict what that docket entirely will look like. What about the 7th?
I'm in an assault with intent to murder trial that should be ending at that time. So I think we could schedule it that day. I should be done.
All right. I'll set a hearing on his bond for November 7th, 2024 at 3 p.m. I'll still leave the exam date in place. All right.
Thank you, Judge. So it'll be here at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Thank you.
All right. On that date, at this time, given what the court has heard, defendant's bond at this time is revoked, defendant's remanded.
Judge, can he have some sort of cash bond with maybe a GPS tether just to allow him to continue working? He was living at his job until recently. He had to move when he moved back into the house.
Revoked his bond.
I know.
No, I understand what you're asking, and I'm going to deny that request at this time.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Court does call the case. People versus Angela Barber.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Ms. Barber. Ms. Barber, please state your name. Barber. Today is the date and time set for sentencing. We do ask that you adopt probation's recommendation, with the exception of the jail time. I did explain what's going on to Ms. Barber. She's asking for a little bit more time to turn herself in. She's working 2 jobs. She just recently got a second job at a doctor's office as an office manager where she's making significantly more money. She explained to me that is also the reason why she had some missed tests, this new job and transportation issues. She also cares for her elderly father and mother who have cancer. I explained that Ms. Polara's recommendation in this situation is quite generous. And I think treatment would be good for Ms. Barber. She's willing to get on that immediately, trying to get into a program. She just doesn't want to lose her jobs, Your Honor.
I'm Teresa Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, probation's recommendation for the upfront jail isn't just due to this test. It also is incorporating the positive cocaine test that she had.
Anything you want to say before I impose sentence?
Just that I don't want to lose my jobs. And I need to be there for my parents.
You want to explain to me the cocaine?
Sorry. Oh. My father uses cocaine.
Pardon?
Sorry. My father uses cocaine. And that's the one time that I used it with him. And I'm looking to help him get into I'm trying to help him get into a facility, but what do you call it? Not treatment also.
Well, you say you only used it with him once?
Yes.
Because I have 2 positive tests. And then you started missing your test.
Well, I started missing my test because I got the new employment and I got a salary job. It's a significantly amount more than where I was than I'm making at the hospital by a lot of money. So I work there 12-hour day shifts, and then I work at the hospital midnight shifts.
Okay. I have 2 positive tests.
Well, I came for the one, and then they called me back and said to come retest. So then they said that they sent it out, said that it takes 7 to 10 days to come back. So they retested me the one time.
So you're saying it was the same test?
Yes, that's what I was under the
No,
impression.
ma'am. No, ma'am. You have 2. Has she seen the violation report?
Yes, we reviewed it this morning. I think what he's saying, so you tested positive on this,
18.
the 18th, and then was it the 25th, Your Honor?
Yes.
So he's saying if you used once, why did you have 2 positive tests?
Because I was under the impression that when they called me back, that was the test that they retested it and it was positive.
So you went on the 18th, it was positive.
Yes,
You
and then
did-
they called me and said I could come back and retest that test.
But they tested your blood again. What the judge is saying is they tested your blood again and you still had cocaine in your system.
No, not my blood, my urine.
Your urine, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
And you still had cocaine in your system. I don't know how long cocaine stays in
I
one
don't
system.
either. But that's what they called me back on the same day and said you have so many hours to come back and test. So I came back either the same day or the next day, I think it was, and they retested me that day. And then she said it comes back in a week, up to 7 days, it'll be back. And so that's when I came back.
Anything else?
Oh,
Anything else you want to say, ma'am?
no, I just, I take care of my parents and, my mom just got out of the hospital, so I'm taking more care of her than my dad right now. So I basically work, 16 hours. My brother comes over to check on him while I'm gone.
Ma'am, here's the problem. You are operating at the presence of a controlled substance in your system. You come in, you get caught, you come in, and then you're on bond, and one of the conditions is you can't use a controlled substance. Then you do. And I don't, what you're telling me about the cocaine that showed up twice in your system doesn't make any sense to me.
When I was under the understanding when they called me,
You explain it. If you say what you said before,
right,
it's still not going to make sense to me.
okay. That's what I understood.
The court acknowledges this is not a serious misdemeanor as defined by statute, however, believes there are reasonable grounds to depart from the presumption of a non-probationary sentence. Specifically, the alcohol screening and assessment identifies the benefit of intensive outpatient treatment and AA meeting attendance. Therefore, the court will follow the recommendation of probation for a probationary sentence with the stated rehabilitative goals to promote change, prevent recidivism, monitor the compliance of recommended treatment. Therefore, the sentence of the court, I'm going to place you on an 18-month probationary term. You're to pay $855 fines and court costs, $100 prosecution recovery costs, $100 police agency recovery costs, $540 probation oversight fees. When can you pay that?
I don't know because I probably lose my job.
December 2nd, 2024. There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You are to complete an intensive outpatient treatment, including all aftercare recommendations with status reports to probation. You are to provide proof of the victim's impact panel attendance to probation. I will order 93 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 3 that you served. Defendant is remanded to serve an additional 5 days, and then the balance will be suspended. Defendant is remanded.
All right, so everybody looking at my medical degree on the wall, or looking at Mr. Google, it says cocaine has a plasma half-life of approximately 1 hour, but the euphoric and cardiovascular effects last no more than 20 to 30 minutes. That's according to Medical News Today and rehabs.com. I think I remember hearing another judge said it was 48 to 72 hours also, but that definitely got to be an expensive drug, because if it's only going to last 30 minutes or so, you might as well go ahead and get some kick out of it. The first one there with Judge Simpson was kind of amazing. That guy is dangerous. It's a good thing he got locked up, because he's obviously not in the right mind there. We're going to jump into a Judge Webster. She had a good one today, and we're going to do the Court Addict at 9 o'clock. Everybody will be sent over there, and if not, we'll put the link up there. But we'll jump over to that.
We are on the record in 2024 TR 204, State of Kansas versus Kristen Colleen Carter. Please announce appearances.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
And Ms. Carter, you appear in person and without counsel, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we are here on a diversion or status review. Ms. Carter, I believe you were planning to look into diversion. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
And did you apply?
I did apply, and I was to make my $100 first payment, and I failed to do so. I couldn't come up with the funds. My husband passed August 2nd, and unfortunately, any funds that I did receive went to funeral arrangements and different things of that sort. So I was told just to come to court and see what we could do, I guess.
So your husband passed August 2nd?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the last day we were in court as well. Did you know that?
I don't believe so.
We had a diversion status conference. Oh, I'm sorry, you failed to appear that day. But Mr. Dean did tell me he had sent you the agreement in treatment. So you called after court. It says you called after court. You told us you were in treatment and didn't get the Zoom link. And we told you the next hearing date and told you to call the county attorney's office as soon as possible about your diversion application. And that was about 11:45 in the morning. So did your husband pass after that?
He passed at 4 o'clock that afternoon. I didn't know I had anything to do with court on that day.
All right, well, it says you called in. I'm not sure why we have the confusion, but
I don't even remember calling in on that. I don't remember any affiliation that day with any type of court.
Do you remember being in treatment?
That was a Friday. No, I was not in treatment at that time. I was at the Oxford Living Home.
Well,
He committed. Sorry.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that I showed that we had a court hearing, you didn't appear, and then what else I had said rather than repeat it all. So what are your intentions concerning these charges at this time?
Yes, ma'am. So sorry, Your Honor. I have gotten my tags, I have gotten my insurance, and I have gotten registration. Everything is legal on the car now. And I do have proof of that. and I can email anything as well.
Well, my question was, what do you intend to do? Do you intend to enter a plea of, continue your plea of not guilty? Do you intend to plead no contest, or do you intend to plead?
I plead guilty, Your Honor. I did it. I mean, I didn't have tags. It was my fault.
Are you wanting to talk to an attorney about this before you proceed further, or are you waiving your right to an attorney? And I would remind you, if you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed.
I'd rather proceed. I'd like to. I've overcome a lot of barriers. I've been sober since April 17th. Sorry, I'm really nervous. I've been sober since April 17th of this year, and so I just want everything to go behind me. So,
all right. If you want to continue your not guilty plea, you can see if the county attorney would give you any extensions in your application. If you think you'll be able to afford the fees anytime in the near future.
I am working. I actually have 2 jobs. I just started a new one yesterday, and I get paid on the 6th. So I think that, I mean, if that's in my best interest, I could go continue with the diversion.
Well, I'm not in a position to determine what is in your best interest or not. And I am not in a position to determine anything about your diversion. That's strictly between you and Ms. Gillette and her office. But I could give you a little bit of more time to see if the county attorney would give you some leeway in that completion date. And I can't speak for them. They may or they may not.
Right.
But I could offer you one final continuance for that.
If I plead guilty, is it just paying fines or?
Well, if you plead guilty, let's see, you're looking at insurance, you're looking at registration, that's a misdemeanor, unclassified. Liability insurance is a B misdemeanor, and not carrying your license and have it available when the officer asks for it is, I believe, a C misdemeanor or unclassified. They do carry jail time sentences. Probation is usually granted, but I can't tell you your sentence or what it is or is not before it's determined.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and contact their office then and see if they want to continue with the diversion.
Ms. Gillette, do you have any objection to that procedure, continuing it and giving her time to call?
Judge, we've been working on this diversion for a long time and it hasn't happened. I don't know that I want to continue on with having the diversion process. She's had failures to appear and other issues.
Okay.
If she wants an attorney to work out the case, that's fine. If she prefers to plea on it, my position and recommendation is going to be to set up a payment plan for her and that she can get her payments in, and there might be some underlying jail time recommendations for probation, but I think that setting her up a payment plan that's stretched out over 12 months is probably better than trying to make her do the diversion payments very quickly.
Right. So, Ms. Carter, it sounds like there's no point in continuing it, so you can talk to the county attorney about it, extending diversion. This is the county attorney, and she's determined she's not going to grant you diversion.
Okay, I understand.
So, and then she's told you that if you plead today, she'll recommend probation with a payment plan so that you wouldn't actually serve any jail time unless, of course, you violate your diversion, your probation. Do you want to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, as you said before?
Yeah, I'll go ahead with it.
All right. And do you feel like anyone's making you give up your right to an attorney?
No.
Okay. You're doing this freely and voluntarily on your own choice?
Yes.
All right. Then I would ask that the record, including the journal entry and the docket notes, reflect that you waived attorney.
Okay, and Your Honor,
Yes.
I have a case in Butler County with you, and I wanted to bring that up. I hope that it's okay. I missed the last court date there. Um, I'm, I apologize. It's my fault. Things have just been kind of rocky. I have a warrant out in Butler County. I'm 3 hours from there. I have not turned myself in, to be honest, because for one, I mean, I have my kids now, and they're under my roof. I'm taking care of them on my own. My health conditions, and I haven't had time to turn myself in, and I've honestly been a little hesitant about it. So I don't know how you feel about that or what I can do with
Well,
that.
what you can do is contact the sheriff, either the Butler County or the sheriff local to you, wherever you are. You can turn yourself in and then you can post any bond that may be set in that case. But that's what I would tell anybody. But I can't take that case up, even though I may be the judge on that. I'm in a different court setting. They're both part of the 13th Judicial District, and that's how I come to be judge on both. But on that
Okay,
one,
so what do you?
I would just tell you to turn yourself in on that. What kind of charges are they?
It's just for no tags.
No tags only?
I believe so. It might be no tags and no insurance.
Do you have an attorney over there?
I don't. And you have a no bond hold on it.
How do you know all this?
My bondsman, and he's on live right now. Chris.
Your bondsman is here on this docket? Who's your
He's here.
bondsman?
Chris, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Florio?
Yeah.
Mr. Florio, are you here? I'm looking for Chris Florio, bail bondsman.
He said he would be. I don't.
So you have a bail bondsman that knows you've got an active warrant and has not turned you in or told you to turn yourself in, but he's told you what the bond conditions are. Tyson, are you here on that case?
No, that's a different bondsman, Your
Well,
Honor.
sometimes they've been covering for each other lately. So Tyson, are you here on that case for the other bondsman?
No, Your Honor, I'm not affiliated with Florio.
Well, that's good for you. But at this moment, that's good for you.
All right.
Because I have a real difficult situation. The bondsmen know they've got a warrant out and they don't turn them in. They just tell them, well, you've got a no bond hold. It's almost like you're aiding when that happens. It's almost like the bondsman is aiding them in avoiding the warrant.
Well, I'm 3 hours away. I don't know. The car, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to get up there to turn myself in.
What is your recommendation, knowing that she has an active warrant for failure to appear in another jurisdiction and her bondsman's helping hide her from us apparently?
Well, she needs to get herself turned in, whether she turns herself in where she's at or she comes here and turns herself in. The best thing to do is to get herself turned in so she can resolve.
Do you want to proceed with this case? What do you want to do on this one?
I don't have a warrant on. I don't have a warrant on her, and we can proceed with our case, but she does need to get turned in for Butler County because Butler County will want to get their case turned in too. Since she hasn't missed since the failure to appear a while back, where she was in the Oxford house, she would have the ability to, I mean, I can't ask for a warrant in my case because she's not bailed on my case.
Okay, well, I just didn't know if you were comfortable with your offer a while ago with an active warrant. And it sounds like you are okay to do that as long as she gets herself turned in Butler County. So, Ms. Carter, let's keep those two counties separate.
Okay, sorry.
At this time, how do you plead to, I've already shown that you have waived your right to counsel on the record knowingly and voluntarily. How do you plead to count one operating a motor vehicle in Greenwood County, Kansas on April 15th, 2024 without proper registration or tag?
Guilty.
You're admitting that you did do the act charged?
Yes.
How do you plead on count 2, operating without liability insurance?
Guilty.
And that was on the same day and same time that you drove
Yes,
without
Your Honor.
insurance? Okay. How about you had a driver's license apparently issued, but you weren't carrying it while you were driving?
Correct. Guilty.
All right, so you plead guilty to all 3 of those. Is anyone making you enter these pleas of guilty today by any threats or promises?
No.
And do you understand that you do have the right to trial on each of these, but if I accept your plea, you will have waived that right and you cannot change your mind later on?
Yes.
All right, and you want to waive your right to trial?
Yes.
And you won't be able to appeal that conviction that you received because of this plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept the pleas of guilty as knowingly and voluntarily made. And where were you doing this driving?
I was headed back to go to rehab from El Dorado to here.
So where did the officer stop you?
I don't know the specific location. It was almost to Fredonia, I want to say.
Looks like it didn't take him too long to catch up with you. So I will, and you said there was no tag or insurance and you didn't have your license.
No, I had my license. I couldn't find it.
Okay, you didn't have it with you to give to him when he asked for it.
Correct.
Okay, I will accept your, not only your pleas as knowing and voluntary, but also that a factual basis and jurisdiction exists. I would find you guilty of counts 1, 2, and 3. And Ms. Gillette, the state's recommendation for sentencing, please.
Yeah, the no insurance count, which is count, I believe, 2. It carries a mandatory $300 fine. The no vehicle registration carries a fine. In this case, since she's back current and has paid for the registration, I would ask for the minimal fee of $50. And for the no DL in possession, I again would ask for a minimal fine. The all of them can carry jail time, but the no proof of insurance, we're supposed to issue jail time at least on it. So I would ask for a 90-day underlying sentence, run 30 days on the other 2, run them all concurrent to each other, and suspend them for 12 months probation. She'll need court cost and her fines. There's a booking fee because she was booked in. There is a request for $17.93 for restitution from the sheriff's office for medical services provided or done on this case.
Who received the medical? Was it her or one of them?
Yes, it was for Miss Carter. So it's $17.93. The county received a write-off on a good chunk of the medical bill. So we only had to pay $17.93 to them. And so I would ask for that to be included and to set her up on a payment plan. And for her to get herself turned in over in Butler County as a condition of her probation.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say before I determine what your sentence will be, Ms. Carter? You don't have to say anything further, but you can if you want.
No.
Now, you mentioned that you have 3 children living with you now?
I have 2.
2, and were they living with their father prior to his passing?
No. You might know him. His name was Andrew Henry. You probably remember in previous cases you had with us. He committed suicide in Butler.
Okay, and you were
in El Dorado County, and that's why I haven't wanted to turn myself in either, because I don't want it.
Okay. Well, let's, okay, so were the 2 of you living together at the time, or other than the fact that you were in treatment?
I left him to go to treatment and then I brought him here to get clean and we were on our way to I was on my way to take him to rehab and we got pulled over and he had a warrant out of El Dorado.
Okay.
And so when he got there, he killed himself 2 days later
Okay. Did he do that in jail or at home?
in jail. He hung
Okay.
himself in your jail, and that's why I
Okay.
don't
Well,
want to
who
go
has
to
the, okay, so you've gone through some, definitely gone through some things, as you said. Where are the children?
They're with me. I got them back. They
How
were
did
never
you,
out of my custody, but
well, how did you get the children back if you were in treatment? Did you leave treatment when he died?
right. No, so Lafayette was my treatment and I left them July 21st and I went to Oxford. It's sober living. After Oxford, I got my kids. I lived there for about maybe not even a month.
Well,
And I
tell
got
me
my
this, what I want to know is, did you
sorry.
leave Oxford House early?
Yes.
And your children, who was taking care of the children while he was in jail?
My mom was taking care of the kids
Okay.
while I was in Oxford.
Okay, so mom took care of the kids, now you've got them back, you're taking care of them yourself, and you live in what town? You said you're 3 hours away, what town is that?
Yeah.
Okay, is that where your mom lives too?
Yeah.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you're working 2 jobs, where do you work?
I work for a cleaning company and then I work for the Joint Chiropractic.
Okay.
And I started there 2 days ago.
Okay, and does
So I'm
mom take
scared
care
to
of the,
lose my job.
does mom take care of the kids while you work?
No, they're old enough to stay home. I have a 15-year-old and a 11-year-old. They'll be 12 and 16.
You might think about counseling for them if you haven't, because boy,
They've started.
okay, because they've gone through probably more than you have with all of this.
It's been terrible.
I can imagine. I probably can't imagine, but I can imagine it's been terrible.
They're so scared for me to turn myself in.
Okay, well, I can understand all of that because they've seen a lot. Their parents have put them through a lot, no doubt.
Yeah, we did.
All right, so on
So I
this
don't know
case,
what to do with that, Judge.
all right, well, the first thing you do is get them in counseling, get yourself in counseling and do what they tell you to. And then there's also something called family preservation services that you can voluntarily request. Ms. Gillette, she can request family pres, can't she?
Oh, yeah. They even have it over where she's at.
Because I'm thinking to keep your children from being put in state's custody with all they've gone through, you might ask them to help you and they can give you all kinds of direction. They deal with families like this because at the rate you're going, I'm surprised those kids aren't in state's custody, frankly. Have you talked to anybody from DCF or family preservation?
No, I haven't. And they had a steady home with my mom.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we lost our home and everything. I
Too
believe
late
you
to do
remember
that.
we were evicted. And then after that, I started using drugs because I have a brain tumor. And that was my way to cope because I couldn't get anything to help the pain. But my sober date is August 16th, and I had never used drugs previous. I was only on drugs for about a year, almost 2 years actually. But now I'm clean. I'm back to where I'm good. My kids are good. I got a house.
Well, your kids may be better now than what you've seen them, but keep in mind, your drug use, dad's drug use, your arrest, dad's suicide.
It's been hard.
You keep those kids in counseling and you make sure that they're talk to their school, let their school know what's going on so that.
I have.
Okay.
I'm just worried about the warrant and Butler.
Well, you better be worried about those kids first and foremost. But all right, let's get on with the business at hand here, which it all
Thank you for your advice.
It all plays together. One affects the other. They're like dominoes. All right, so on count one, as the state recommended, a $50 fine, a 30, and that fine could be up to $2,500. So think about that next time you're in a bind with your tag. $50 fine. I'm going to give you a 30-day sentence, but it will be suspended provided you're successful on probation, and we'll talk about that a little bit more shortly.
Okay.
Count two, I'm going to follow the state's recommendation of a minimum fine that's required by law of $300 for driving without insurance. That's just the first time. If you do it again, it goes up. 90-day sentence instead of the possible 6-month. And then on count three, this is probably a lower fine than I've ever gone, but I'm going to go with $25 fine and a 30-day sentence suspended concurrent. Your court costs will be $108, booking fee $45, restitution to the Greenwood County Sheriff $17.93.
Okay.
And then you're going to have what's called a supervision fee of $60.
Okay.
And the reason that you're going to have a supervision fee is I am going with the recommendation for 12 months probation, but with everything you have on the table here, I'm going to recommend I'm going to order that be 12 months reporting probation. You will need to call as soon as this hearing is over to the 13th Judicial District Probation Office, 316. I'm going to order that you turn yourself in on that Butler County warrant. And I'm not going to change the no bond hold, because when I give you no bond hold, it means because I've had a problem with your attendance or something. Now, I can understand the children's fears and your apprehension, but it's something that they probably taught you in rehab. You have to face the consequences of your addiction and you have to deal with them. But you'll probably, with that.
How long will I be in jail? I mean, if I don't
I
have
can't say for sure, but I would think turn yourself in on the weekend. You'll see one of the judges over there at 1:30 on probably a Monday. And then they will probably either modify the bond or set you on Judge Lee's expedited docket, because mine is so crowded over there. I wouldn't see you until January. So we're not going to let you sit in jail that long. They'll probably get you on Judge Lee's docket or grant you a bond. But the problem with that is until you turn yourself in, there's not much we can do about it.
Right. I'm going to lose my job. Okay.
Well, we don't want you to lose your job.
Judge,
I work on the weekend.
Hold on, Ms.
Judge,
Gillette.
I'm just assuming you adopted the fines that I recommended.
I did. I adopted your recommendations for sentencing. Plus the provision.
Are you ordering the restitution for 1793? Are you ordering that?
I ordered it. I ordered everything you asked for, plus the $60 supervision fee. So we have $1793 restitution to the sheriff, $60 supervision fee, $45 booking fee, $108 court costs, $50 on count one plus 30 days, $300 on count two plus 90 days concurrent, $25 on count three plus 30 days concurrent, and of that, a 12th of that. Oh.
Somebody clicked on whiteboard.
I see that. I was trying to figure out if I did that, but I don't know how to do that, so I don't think I did. Missy, do you know how to get rid of that? It can only be closed by the host or the person that put it on there. All right. Okay. So any other questions about that, Ms. Gillette?
Nope, I just wanted to make sure it was clear on the journal entry for her and that we would split that up into 12 months.
And would you please put in the journal entry, she's to call probation and report by phone immediately after this hearing. And I have given the number 3163 because I understand even though this is a Greenwood case, they all start at that main number.
Yes, and I wrote that down.
Contact the clerk. No.
All right, I'm giving up on that one. That case was lasting forever. That was the longest sentencing hearing I've ever been part of. Linus needs to get to Houston. Throw her some money. It's Friday. All y'all are rich right now, so throw her all the money she needs to get to Houston and back. That way she can have a good birthday party. I don't know when her birthday is, but let's throw her one. Meg's Crime Watch. Don't forget about Meg. Go at least watch her channel, watch some videos, and just be a good person. Throw her some love. She's got a GoFundMe set up. Help out any which way you can. We're gonna go over to Court Addict. It's Allie's birthday, so we got to be nice to her today. I promised her. You guys have a good night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.